Hello and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Red Dead Online and we're going to be doing another outfit guide. Today we're going to be completing our trifecta of Bonanza outfit with Ben Cartwright, the father and the owner of the Ponderosa. So we've already done for sure Big Hoss and Little Joe. I don't know that anyone is clamoring for a Adam Cartwright video, so I'm probably not going to do that. But this one will be kind of like the other ones, or exactly like the other ones. I don't know why I speak in vagaries like that. Clearly we've got some sort of a hacking thing going on. But we're going to start off with weapons, then we'll do hair and facial hair, and then we'll do the outfit. So by the end of this video, you're going to know how to dress up like Ben Cartwright. So let's just dive on in and start off with weapons. Alright, so for starters, there's an anachronism, because I'm pretty sure at least the early show takes place during the Civil War, but like most TV shows back in this day, they didn't care that much about accuracy, and so even though all the people in the show are using cartridge revolvers, like the Colt Single Action Army Revolver, which came out in 1873, or in the case of Ben Cartwright, a Remington 1875, we don't have a Remington 1875 in here. We don't even have a Remington 1858, which would be much more accurate for him to be using given the time place that the show takes place in. Best we can do is try to imitate his Remington 1875 with a Colt 1873, which is the Colt Single Action Army Revolver, which is the cattleman revolver here in the game because it's the most like it. If we wanted to be accurate to the time period that the show takes place in, we would be using the Navy revolver in this game or even the LeMat revolver because both of those revolvers existed during the Civil War. But with all that being said, if we're going for the show, then the cattleman revolver is the best, and this is the best way to imitate it, at least as far as I am sure or aware. It's possible that his gun changes multiple times throughout the show because I found multiple different guns. But if we're going for the Remington 1875, then we're going to do it like this. I have the ironwood grips and the bright maple varnish on them. We did the longer barrel because the Remington 1875, the standard length for the barrel was considerably longer than the artillery variant of the Colt Single Action Army Revolver. So we're going to give the long barrel on this, improved rifling, improved sights, no engravings, no carvings, and I'm actually just going to do brown to steel for the whole thing because it's kind of hard to tell if his gun was inox or if it was blued, but it always looked a little bit lighter to me, but very uniform. So I think the brown to steel gives us the best imitation there. So that is going to be Ben Cartwright's sidearm. Next up, we're going to be using the gun that I would say is even more iconic for Ben Cartwright, and that is going to be the carbine that he uses in the show. And he used a Winchester 1873, which makes sense given the rest of all of their guns also came from the future. It makes sense that he would also be using one. So, his 1873 was kind of a little bit more shiny, but I would guess it was just supposed to be a little bit more wore out, or maybe the studio prop he was using was wore out. But with that being said, this is pretty close to a stock Winchester 1873 appearance. They had color case hardened frames, and so we don't have color case hardening in here, or at least I don't. I think it might have been a limited time thing. So if you do, I would put color case hardening for the frame. Other than that, this is the way that I did it. So I have a nice dark varnish. Doesn't really matter which one, but you're going to want a dark varnish on the stock. No wraps, no scope, no carvings, no engravings. And then for the metal, we're going to do brown steel for the barrel, the trigger, the sight, the lever, and the hammer, and black and steel for the frame. And with that, you will have the two guns that Ben Cartwright is most closely associated with in Bonanza. So as far as hair and facial hair are concerned, we can't really match it perfectly, but we can come kind of somewhat close and hit the broad strokes of it. So for our hair, we're going to go with the thinning hairstyle, and then we're going to do the 17th variant, which gets us this sort of light white coloration to it. It's not perfect, and you know, maybe people will be upset that I did the thinning hairstyle, but the thing to remember is even though a bunch of the show was when Lorne Greene was younger and such, those were all in black and white, and so the pictures I used for this were some of the ones from the later seasons where it's in color, so I could actually tell the colors of the outfit, and he looks older in them, and his hair's a little bit thinner. So whatever the case may be, that's the hairstyle and color I went with for the hair. For the facial hair, he just has pretty stereotypical 70s sideburns, so they stop about, I don't know, lower cheekbone area, mid-jowl for him. We don't have any sideburns like that in here. The closest we can come is the chin curtain, and then we can use the 13th color variant for that to match his iconic white sideburns. So that's as close as we can come there. As far as facial stubble goes, we will do no stubble, so totally clean shaven here because that's how he looked. Other than his sideburns, he was clean shaven, and that is hair and facial hair for Ben Cartwright. And finally, the outfit. And so here we have it all put together, and it actually came out decently well. Looks a lot like the picture that I'm basing this off of. Obviously, there's plenty of variation. It's a long-running TV show, so he has different outfits in different episodes. Sometimes he's wearing a coat, sometimes he's not. The shirt is sometimes different, etc. This one is just the most iconic one that you see him in most often, and it's also the specific one that I am copying from this picture that I chose. So let's just go through the items on this one, and I'll show you how to make up this outfit altogether. Alright, starting off with the hat, we have one that is both pretty much perfect and not right. So unfortunately, or I should say fortunately, the gambler's hat is a pretty dang close match to the exact size and shape of the hat that he's wearing in the movie. His curls up a little bit more on the edges, but it's otherwise pretty dang close to the gambler's hat. And it's funny because that's also a hat I've used for at least Little Joe's outfit, potentially. But with that being said, Ben Cartwright's hat is like a light whitish beige, sort of off-white color, so it's very, very light. Unfortunately, we don't have a gambler's hat that comes that light. The closest we can come is the first variant, which is this sort of gray color, which isn't perfect, but it comes decently close. Like I said, shape of the hat's right, size of the hat's right. It even has the dark band running around the base of the hat. So it's close enough, in my opinion. I could have matched the color of his hat better with different styles, but I think it's more important to match the style than it is the color, especially when you consider a bunch of the show is black and white. And so in those instances, you know, shape and size is more important than color. So that's the hat. For neckwear, we're going to be going for his neckerchief. Now, the unfortunate thing here is that in the show, his neckerchief was just on his neck, and it was sort of tilted to the side, and he was wearing it in a very stereotypical 70s fashion. We can't do that in this game, no matter what. It has to be on the outside of your shirt if you're wearing a neckerchief, which is annoying, but it is what it is. We're going to be using this green variant, so the 6th variant of the neckerchief overall comes decently close to what he is, because he's wearing a green neckerchief in the show. Then for our vest, we have the 4th variant of the Lancer vest. This vest is almost perfect. Now, unfortunately, in this game, you do not have the option to wear your vests either open or closed. They're always closed. And unfortunately, most of your classic westerns, they have the vests open. So that's one of the unfortunate things about trying to imitate anything from the 40s through the 70s in the Wild West. That being said, this one does otherwise match the style and color pretty much perfectly. It's almost exactly the same shade of brown, and it's leather just like the vest he's wearing, and it even has pockets like his vest. So this vest works really, really well, and there is no better alternative. Now for our shirt, I just wanted to find a purple shirt. And now, I always thought when I watched the show that his shirt was blue, or maybe, like I said, it was just different all the time, and I just maybe closely associated it with being like a darker blue. But then when I found this HD picture that I based this one on, it's totally purple. And so that's why I needed to find a plain purple shirt, and that led me to the French dress shirt, because I couldn't find a plain purple shirt in any of the other more normal looking shirts. So we're going to be using the 17th variant of the French dress shirt, so we get this purple look to it. If you could, it would be great to pop the collar open, but you have to either choose between having the neckerchief or having the collar open. I think it's entirely possible that going without the neckerchief so you can pop the collar open is the better option, but I wanted to make sure I showed all of the items for this outfit. So that'll be up to you, but we do want to roll the sleeves up because his sleeves were usually rolled up. So that's our shirt. Then he usually is wearing gloves, and they're a shorter riding style glove, and the leather gloves in this game, the black variant, so they last the 10th variant, is actually pretty much perfect. They look pretty much exactly like the gloves he wears in the show. So that's glove. For our gun belt, I was actually pretty excited because we were able to match his extremely unique looking gun belt pretty dang well. So the embossed horsemanship gun belt, the 3rd variant, this black and orange one, actually looks a lot like the gun belt that he wears in the show. So that was pretty exciting, and that is the weapon equipment we're going to be using here. For our pants, in the picture that I'm basing this off of, he was wearing a relatively clean pair of olive green pants that seemed to be a pretty normal cut. They didn't look like they had any special unique accents or anything to them, and it matches his neckerchief pretty well for the picture, and so these pants are the ones we're going with, the 9th variant of clerk pants, because like I said, they match the color, cut, and style of his pretty much perfectly, so those are the pants. For our boots, we're wearing the Warren Roper's boots, and this time we're going to do the 6th variant of them, the clean black ones, because they match his from the show pretty much perfectly. He appears to usually wear them underneath his pants, and so that is what we're going to be doing here. He does not, however, appear to be wearing spurs in any of the pictures I looked at, so I'm just going to go ahead and guess that, like most Western actors from this time period, he actually wasn't much of a horseman, and so therefore they did not have him wearing spurs and riding a horse like that. They usually had them wearing or riding well-trained horses that would just go as they were directed without needing to ever be spurred. And so the actors were more likely to injure the horses than to actually use them effectively, which is why in this time period you don't see a lot of Western actors wearing spurs. But with all that being said, that's the footwear. And so there you have them side by side, and I think you'll agree that within the limitations that we have in the game, this is actually pretty dang close. So we were able to accurately, or somewhat accurately, imitate Ben Cartwright from Bonanza. I would say arguably better than we were able to with Little Joe or Big Hoss, and I think both of those outfits also turned out pretty good. So that is all there is to this outfit. Like I said, it's down to your personal preference if you think the neckerchief or the open collar is more important. Like I said, I personally think taking the neckerchief off and just going with the open and color looks better and matches the aesthetic we're going for a lot better, but I just wanted to make sure that you had all of the items that you needed. So that is all for Ben Cartwright's outfit. And so that is where we're going to end for today. So like I always say, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. I hope if you were someone that really likes Bonanza, or for some reason just maybe you really like Lorne Green, I don't know, but you wanted to dress up like him, now you can. And like I've already said, ooh, missed that guy. Like I've already said, I've completed Little Joe and Big Hoss videos already. So if you're a Bonanza fan and Ben Cartwright isn't your go-to, I do have the other two on the channel and you can find them relatively easy. So that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful or entertaining. If you have any requests that you'd like to make, or any corrections to anything I said in this video, or maybe suggestions for items of clothing that you think would look better with it, let me know down in the comment section, but we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.